Hello whiskey lovers and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings, and as you can see I'm wearing the Mark and Manny's Malts polo shirt, which means it's time for a new announcement. And unfortunately my buddy Manny could not be here. He should be, because he also selected this next release for Mark and Manny's Malts, but he got a call to go and on a hunt for our next release. So, well, somebody has to do one thing and I was left to do this. Anyway, our newest release is special for three reasons. One, it is a single grain, as you are about to find out. It is the first time that Mark and Manny's Malts releases a single grain. Number two, it is the oldest whiskey that we've released so far, because it is a 29-year-old. It is just shy of being 30 years old. It is at cask strength and it matured on a bourbon cask. It is distilled in 1988. And three, well, it is the first time that we use, instead of a planet, which we used for the malts. You will remember Aran had Saturn, then we had the Maverick blended malt with Venus, if I'm not mistaken. But in this case, as you may have seen on Facebook, we've been announcing this with the moon. And that was kind of an indication that this was something else than a single malt, and indeed it is. So we did not choose a planet, but we chose the moon, because this is not a malt, but a single grain. Anyway, it is a Invergordon, like I said, an Invergordon single grain from 1988. And let me tell you a little bit about Invergordon. Invergordon is not that old. It was actually a grain distillery that was built in 1959. So basically, it is a rather young distillery. It's also the only grain distillery that cannot be found in the Lowlands. Now, this one is in the Northern Highlands, and it is owned by Whyte Mackay, who also own Dalmore, which is basically the proverbial stone's throw away. Well, and of course, Whyte Mackay also owns Vettercairn and Isle of Jura, but that's besides the point. What I was trying to say is, between 1965 and 1977, the 80-acre terrain of the Invergordon distillery also housed a small malt distillery for just a short while, only 12 years, by the name of Ben Wyvis. That is very hard to find nowadays. But I digress. It is high time to present to you this newest release for Mark and Manny's Malts, this new cask that Manny and I found. And I have to tell you, we've had some single grain before, but when we discovered this exceptional cask of 1988 Invergordon, we sipped it we nosed it, we sipped it, and we looked at each other and immediately decided we want to bottle this cask for Mark and Manny's Malts. Now, it's not the whole cask, obviously. It is again limited to only 50 bottles, and it is bottled at a cask strength of 46.9% ABV. So here we go, a single grain for Mark and Manny's Malts. It's got this beautiful bright golden color, and it sticks to the glass, which kind of reveals a full creamy body, and that's what we were looking for in this single grain. On the nose. Well, typical for a well-matured grain, it's got loads of unripe banana, some white chocolate, but I also get some wood glue and vanilla. Now, the wood glue is not overpowering. It can happen sometimes with grain, but in this case it is reinforcing it. It's not overpowering, not dominating. No, the domination here is some creamy coconut, honey, and popcorn. Wow. All right, on the palate. A big, luscious sweetness coats the mouth. A bit of cinnamon in there, giving it almost a candy-like quality, but without becoming sticky, if you know what I mean. I get some tropical fruits as well. I would say pineapple, a bit of mango, even some apricots. Very fruity, almost tropical. On the finish then. Now, while the finish is rather short, it's on the short side, I'll be honest, but it still offers up a vaguely spicy note, and it's got this beautifully deep, sweet depth. Wow. Well matured grain can indeed be very beautiful. If it matures on great wood, you will get a fantastic whiskey. And this one spent almost 3 decades in a wonderful bourbon cask. So we are absolutely over the moon with this You got that right. You saw what I did there, right? We're over the moon with this release. It's the oldest whiskey that Manny and I have bottled so far. A 29-year-old single grain from Invergordon, distilled in 1988. A beautiful addition to Mark and Manny's Malts Galaxy series, and more about the fourth release that Manny is now sourcing. I hope he makes a good choice, but he usually does. So that's all for this Whisky Rambling, and I hope you will find this single grain interesting. You will be able to find it on malts.com. That's all for this Whisky Rambling, and I hope to see you at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the grain be with you. Bye-bye.